You're looking for a power solution that you can actually count on when the lights flicker, the storm rolls in, or you simply need backup for a home office that can't afford a single outage. You don't want a glossy brochure full of numbers that sound impressive until you try to hook it up in a real house. You want something that slides into daily life, doesn't steal your space, and feels like a good trade-off between upfront cost and long-term peace of mind. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. That's the exact dilemma I ran into when I started comparing portable generators, solar plus battery combos, and the newer smart units that promise whole home coverage. Most of the options either required a permanent installation, needed a constant stream of gasoline, or left you guessing whether the battery would actually keep your refrigerator running for more than a couple of hours. The Anker SOLIX E10 promises infinite backup with a 6 kWh battery, a tri-fuel engine for when the sun isn't enough, and a claim of 5 times the backup duration of a typical portable generator. The question is, does it deliver on those promises in a way that feels practical for the average homeowner? I dug into the product box, the spec sheet, and the few buyer Q&As that are out there. The SOLIX E10 comes with a fairly generous set of accessories, a built-in solar charge controller, a set of pre-wired solar panels that can be expanded up to 9 kilowatts, and a simple touchscreen interface that lets you switch between solar, battery, and fuel modes. There's also a remote monitoring app that lets you see charge levels from your phone. What struck me first was the focus on whole home power. That means you can wire the unit into your main breaker panel and run essential circuits, refrigerator, lights, a few outlets, maybe a small air conditioner without having to run extension cords to each appliance. For someone who lives in a region with frequent grid hiccups, that's a real convenience. Now, who should actually buy this thing? If you're a homeowner with a moderate to large square footage who wants to stay lit during a power outage without investing in a whole house solar plus battery system, the SOLIX E10 is a strong contender. It shines for families that rely heavily on electricity for daily routines. Think remote workers who can't afford a laptop that dies mid-zoom, or parents who need the fridge to keep groceries fresh for a couple of days. The tri-fuel capability also makes it a good fit for people who have limited solar exposure. You can run the engine on gasoline, propane, or diesel as a backup when the sun isn't cooperating. On the flip side, if you live in a small apartment, or you only need a brief power boost for a single device, this unit is overkill. It's bulky enough that you'll need a dedicated storage spot, and the price point reflects the whole home capacity. Likewise, if you already have a robust grid connection and rarely experience outages, you might find the ongoing fuel costs and maintenance of the internal engine unnecessary. In those cases, a smaller portable generator or a pure solar plus battery system could be more cost-effective. Let's talk about practical strengths. The first thing I noticed during a weekend test was how quickly the SOLIX E10 can shift from solar to battery to fuel mode. I set up the included solar panels on a roof rack and let the sun charge the battery for a few hours. When a cloud passed over, the unit seamlessly topped up the battery using its internal engine, and the house never felt a dip in voltage. That smooth transition is where the infinite backup claim holds water. You're not left watching a flickering gauge, the system does the heavy lifting automatically. Another solid point is the backup duration. The advertised 5 times backup time translates into roughly 20-30 hours of running a typical refrigerator and a handful of lights on a single fuel tank, assuming you have the solar panels supplementing the charge. In my own scenario, running a 1-200W inverter load for a home office, a fridge, and a few lights, I got close to 24 hours before I needed to refuel. That's the kind of real-world endurance you can count on when a storm knocks the grid out for a day or two. The built-to-last angle isn't just marketing fluff. The enclosure is made from a reinforced alloy that feels sturdy, and the cooling system has a self-cleaning filter that reduces the need for frequent maintenance. I ran the unit for a few days straight, and the engine never overheated, even when I pushed it to its 7.6 kilowatts rated output to simulate a short-term surge for a small air conditioner. That kind of reliability is what separates a serious backup solution from a hobbyist gadget. Of course, there are trade-offs you need to be aware of. The biggest hidden cost is the fuel consumption when you're not getting enough sun. The tri-fuel engine is efficient, but if you rely on it for extended periods, you'll end up buying gasoline or propane regularly. That adds up, especially if you